This program is brought to you by Real Estimate, Australia's #1 property value estimate. Get your real estimate today on realestate.com.au.
Welcome back. There are 2,386 homes scheduled to be auctioned this week. That's up 46% when compared to the same week last year. New South Wales will hold 937 auctions with about 800 in Sydney. Victoria will also hold 937 auctions with about 890 in Melbourne. Queensland will hold 296 auctions with about half of them in Brisbane. South Australia will hold 142 auctions with virtually all of them in Adelaide. Western Australia, the NT and Tasmania will hold 8 auctions between them, and the ACT will hold 66 auctions. Taking a look at the most viewed properties going to auction this weekend, and in New South Wales, the top property is 15 Eyre Street, Smithfield. This 4-bedder has 2 bathrooms, 2 parking spots. Asking price is $800,000, but I think it could be the most viewed because there seems to be a crude Photoshop job done on the back lawn. The top property in Victoria is 24 Westgarth Street, Northcote. This 4-bedder has a large backyard and period features, LED light windows, high ceilings and decorative fireplaces. Asking price is $1.7 to $1.8 million. The top property in Queensland is 30A Alice Street, Silkstone. This 3-bedder has 2 bathrooms, 2 parking spots, was built in the 1930s. The home has polished timber floorboards, Edwardian skirting boards and nice front and rear porches. The most viewed property in South Australia is 4 Marola Avenue, Rostrevor. This home was designed in 1958 and has lots of wood and brick on display. It's got 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, sits on a large block with a pool and tennis court. The most viewed property in Tasmania is 39 Taronga Road, Bonnet Hill. This home is perched on the top of a cliff just south of Hobart. There are great views of the Derwent River. It's a 3-bedder with almost 1,000 square metres. Asking price $850,000. And the most viewed property on the REA Group website this week is 5 Mellors Avenue, O'Halloran Hill, South Australia. I think this ad has been clicked on the most due to the price, which is $699,000 to $749,000. This 3-bed has been extensively renovated and freshened up. It's got 2 bathrooms, lots of parking spots, decent-sized lawn, a large undercover entertaining area, and is 30 minutes to the Adelaide CBD via the Southern Expressway. The agents are taking offers now. And for more on property, I caught up with Eleanor Creagh from REA Group a little earlier.
Yeah, look, you're exactly right. So it's pretty clear that we're seeing sustained confidence in market conditions. We know that national prices have now cycled through 17 consecutive months of growth. In Sydney, that's a little bit longer, 18 months of consecutive growth. And I think that that's sustaining both the buyer and seller confidence. And we're continuing to see strength in the number of properties hitting the market and the number of properties heading to auction as well. So more than 2,000 auctions scheduled for this week. That's more than 40% above this same period last year. So a significant uplift in activity relative to last year.
And school holidays is kicking off this week and next week. Is that going to dampen demand a bit or less things for sale or not really?
I mean, we're still heading into more than 2,000 auctions next week, which is still around 30% more than this same week last year. So still relatively elevated, but I think we'll probably start to see those volumes drop off into July. Things are going to get a little bit colder. That seasonally quieter winter period will be well and truly upon us, and the school holidays, as you say. Now,
there might be a chance of a rate rise in in August. Do you think that could dampen demand from buyers at all, or things still pretty rosy?
Yeah, look, it's certainly going to be an interesting one to watch. It's a little bit difficult to decipher, I guess, exactly how much of the strength in activity we've seen this year has been down to the expectations of interest rate cuts maybe being a little bit sooner, and of course the current stable interest rate environment. I mean, if we cast our minds back 12 months ago, conditions were very different. There was still quite a bit of uncertainty around future borrowing costs and the market in terms of the recovery. We weren't quite fully there yet. So there was a lot more uncertainty, whereas this year conditions have been a lot stronger. And I think the interest rate stability has certainly played into that, giving potential buyers certainty around their borrowing costs. So if the risk of another rate rise really does become cemented, we could see a little bit of a dampening in demand. But of course, that's also going to be offset by the fact that we've got the tax cuts coming into play on July 1, which is going to give households a bit of a boost to borrowing capacities, which is probably going to continue to fuel the strength in home buying demand, and as a result, prices lifting in the months ahead.
Yeah, you've got a report out this week just looking at prices, and you're expecting national property prices to rise by 5% by the end of this year. That seems pretty strong, and some areas clearly doing better than others.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's no mean feat, certainly in the face of such significant interest rate tightening that we've seen over the past couple of years. We know that interest rates are a lot higher, borrowing capacities have been reduced, mortgage servicing costs have surged. But it's really that strength in home buying demand that has continued to fuel home prices up against, of course, the continued construction industry challenges, which are hampering the supply of new housing and fueling both higher home prices and higher rental prices.
Yeah, it looks like Perth, you're expecting a pretty strong year for them. What's going on in the Western Australia market that's really driving prices up so much?
Yeah, look, it's certainly interesting. We're seeing that Perth is consistently the strongest performing market over the past year, with prices in Perth actually in May up more than 20% over the past year.
Wow.
So really continuing to record a very strong pace of price growth. Now, a lot of it has to do with a very limited supply environment. So not only is there that slowdown in the delivery of new builds, but also there's very limited stock on market in Perth. So total listings have been around record low levels. They've begun to increase a little bit, but very constrained, and it's creating more competitive market conditions. We've got strong demand. Perth is one of the relatively affordable capital city markets. Net migration, population growth, very tight rental markets in Perth with vacancy rates sitting around the 1% level, probably pushing some of those renters into the market to buy a little bit sooner.
Eleanor, Creagh, thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.